over the windows a tad. Dallas Burston Polo Club. There's no need for speed limits, really. Speed limits only exist because if you have a speed limit, you can prosecute and convict above a speed limit for cash, fines and whatever. But if you had a responsible speed limit, you could do 35 through here, it wouldn't really matter. If someone comes, you stop, that's the rule. Bands. 5 or 6 grand. I've got website addresses worth more than 5 grand, but trying to find someone that will actually take that will swap a van for a website address, they still haven't realised that website addresses are worth more than vehicles. But that will happen in due time. Some website addresses now are worth more than houses. The problem is that people live in this traditional lifestyle where they reckon their house is worth a fortune and nothing else matters. But only this week we've seen Weight Watchers have just actually rebranded from Weight Watchers to www.com. The website address that Weight Watchers now use, which is www.com, there are only 26 matching letters like AA, BB, CC. There are only 26 available in the world. Domain investors in China will happily pay £1 million plus for a single, for 2 letters.com, any 2 letters. Facebook paid $8.5 million for FB.com, which is more than most houses, and yet people with houses still think that website addresses are worth nothing at all. They're living in dream world. Website addresses now are digital shops, and that's where we are. The high street is going down the toilet because it can't compete with Amazon, because Amazon had one of the best digital pieces of land, Amazon.com. The high street cannot compete until it scraps its shops in the high street. It has to come away from the high street to succeed. If it doesn't come away from the high street chains will crumble and go bust. Which is why you've got the likes of Sports Director buying them all up. And as I'm here, where we go? Leicester Fast. Where should we go? Where should we go? I don't want to go that side, so I'll go Leamington. Posh Leamington. Yeah, so people now like Bitcoin. Bitcoin came on the scene only recently, but it went from nothing. If you'd have spent £100 on Bitcoin in 2010, only 8 years ago, you'd have bought Bitcoin for 9.5p each. And in 2017, Bitcoin went to £15,000 each. So you're going to see now a lot of money being made from those that bought Bitcoin in 2010 that are living like millionaires at the moment. They're doing Bruce's millions with the money they've made. If you sold Bitcoin, if you bought it at 9.5p each, 100 quid, you'd have had, let's just say 10p a pound. It says 10 per pound. Can't even work it out myself. 10 Bitcoin for a pound. £100 is 100 times 10, which is 10 tens is 1,000. Sorry, 10 tens is 100. You'd have had 1,000 Bitcoin. So for £100 spent in 2010, you'd have bought 1,000 Bitcoin. And had you sold 1,000 Bitcoin in 2017, when they was at £15,000 each, you would have had 10 was 150 grand times 10, that's 1.5 million. Times 10, you'd have had 10.5 million quid from £100 spent. That's Bitcoin for you, cryptocurrency. Which means that you can buy, had you have bought even 2 Bitcoin, people were now buying cars for 30 grand, £30,000 sterling. And it's only costing them 18 pence, 20 pence for a £30,000 car. That's the money that is now currently. So when you see these expensive cars, if it's paid for with Bitcoin money from 2010 and sold in 2017, it's only costing them. So a house bought, but let's just say, for example, a £200,000 house. If you had a £200,000 house, it's cost you many years' wages and in mortgage and everything else. But if you're using Bitcoin money made from investing in 2010 and sold in 2017 at £15,000, a £200,000 house bought and paid for would have only cost you, I'll work it out now, so 9.5p, but 10p for argument's sake. 10p is 15,000. So 10 is 100. It would cost you £1. £1 is 150,000. £1, 30 pence. Bitcoin investors now, if you bought in 2010 at 9p, 10p, and you sold at £15,000 and thought that's enough, I've made enough money, you can now buy £200,000 sterling house in the UK for what would have cost you £1.30. That's Bitcoin for you. So when you hear Bitcoin on the news, that's why you're hearing it, because it's the digital currency. It's unreal. We're living in Bruce's millions era. But saying that, only the last 2 weeks ago from today, the website address 015.com has just sold for $230,000. Again, if you'd have bought a website address, in you didn't have to buy them before 1995. If you bought website addresses or ordered them or requested to own them, it would have cost you 0 pence. That was free before 1995 because no one knew the internet was going to be what the internet became. Had you have bought anything, any two numbers, 10, 15, 32, if you'd have bought two numbers like 12, 14, 13, you can't get them for now less than about $1.5 million 20 years down the road. And all you've had to pay is the registration fee for 20 years, which is about 20, 50. Early on it was expensive, now it's £10, £15 a year. Website addresses are everything. The good ones are effectively the digital high street. And all you've got to do is go on GoDaddy.com, think of something that you know something about, your specialised subject, and pay 15 quid. And just find someone that wants to pay more, and that's your profit. And this, I think, is Leamington. Yes, it is, and you can tell Leamington because as you go through this bit, it gets a bit posh. I don't know if it's still recording or not, I don't know.